first problem we're going to go through is number 2. Y'all, in this one, are we finding a missing side or a missing angle? A missing side. Okay, so we've got our angle here. We always mark that angle, remember? And that tells you your adjacent and your hypotenuse. To find the hypotenuse line, you go across from the 90, and then the other one is your adjacent, which means this one over here is the opposite. So now we ask ourselves, okay, you have to remember, Coca-Cola. Okay, we have sine, cosine, or tangent. We have the hypotenuse, right? And we're looking for the adjacent. So which one has hypotenuse and adjacent? Cosine. So we would do the cosine of 32. And that's adjacent, so x, over hypotenuse, which is 17. Right? Okay, and then we see we've got the number in the bottom, yes? So when we have a number in the bottom, we actually do what? Multiply. Yep, so we'll do 17 times the cosine of 32. So 17 times cosine 32, type that in the calculator. Not worked it out yet. Okay, and then also it says, let's check our rounding. It says in the following problems, please round lengths to the, so lengths are going to be to the nearest 100, and angles are going to be to the nearest 10. So 100, that means we have to look at 3 decimal places, right? So you get 14.416, right? And there's an 8 on the end. But to round to the hundreds, we look at the third one there, the 6, yes? What's going to happen to the 1? It's going to go up. So it would be 14.42. There we go. Easy enough, right? Okay. So that's missing signs. And then you all know how to do the other ones too. Now we're going to do number 5. Because what are we missing on number 5? The angle, and that's what they're asking us to find. So remember when we're doing the angle, we have to use the what? Starts with the I. Inverse, yeah, inverse. Remember to the little -1? Okay? So we're going to find the angle here. And look, I draw my arrow straight across, and that's my opposite. And then here, this is connected, but this one's not the hypotenuse, right? The 11 is not the hypotenuse, it's the adjacent. Alright, so we have adjacent and opposite. Adjacent, opposite. Think about Coca-Cola. That's going to be what? Tangent. Adjacent, opposite, tangent. So the tangent of question mark, well, it's really G, because that's what they got there, right? Tangent of G, and tangent is opposite over adjacent, so 6 over 11. Okay? And then, like we said, to find the angle, we use the inverse. So you do that -1. So the tangent to the -1 of 6 over 11. Okay. And so we get 28.610, right? So 28.61. And then when I surround angles to the tenths, so we look at that 1, it's not going to make it go up. So it's 28.6. Alright, very good, yes? Okay. Now the next 2 problems here, 7 and 8, they're a little, not really too challenging, but you have to do a couple steps. Alright? Y'all can figure out number 7. That's the easier of them. So let's do number 8 though. Okay. So you see how number 8 is asking for 3 things? Right? They want EF. Okay. That one should be easy to find, right? You can use the angle and this side here, and we just find that side, right? Okay. Then what else do they want? They want EV. EV. That's the whole thing there. Again, that's also going to be easy to find. Yeah. To find EG, just ignore this line in the middle. You see now you have a big right triangle, right? We have the 35, we can use that 32, and find that missing side, yes? Okay, so that one's going to be simple. But then, everybody gets hung up on this. How do I find FG? FG is just that little section right there. What should you do? Trig can only be done on a right triangle. Yeah, so is this a right triangle? No. So do y'all see how we're going to have to actually, like, think about this. FG is part of EG, yeah? So, didn't we already figure out FE here? This part? And didn't we already figure out EG, the whole thing?
So it would just be the
Oh, so just be the whole thing minus.
Yeah, so we're going to have to do the whole thing, EG, and we're going to take away EF. That's going to give us the leftover, okay? So that's the plan. Y'all ready? Okay. First thing, like we said, we need to find EF. I'm dealing with this right triangle here. Okay, here's the 48. Right? And we have which side? Yeah, this is the opposite. And which side are we trying to find? The adjacent, yeah. Okay? So opposite and adjacent, that's going to be tangent. So the tangent of 48 and it's opposite over adjacent. Okay, we have the x, the unknown, in the bottom, right? When we have that, what do? Yeah, we switch. So we're going to do question mark is equal to 32 divided by the tangent of 48. Okay, so let's type that in our calculator. And we'll just go, I don't remember what round to. Yeah, we'll just do 10. That's fine. Yeah, so 28.8, right? 28.8. So that's this little piece. Okay, 28.8. That's this little piece right here. Okay. Now, and look, they're even telling you the order to find it. You know, see how that kind of helps you? Right? Okay, now we said we need to find EG, and that's going to be the whole thing. Okay, so to find EG, I'm going to look at the big right triangle. I'm going to ignore the line in the middle. So here's my angle to 35. The 32 is still going to be the what? Opposite. And we're still trying to find the G. Yeah, just a different angle. Literally the same thing. So, and so again, tangent of 35 this time. And it's opposite to 32 over the adjacent. Alright? So again, the question's in the bottom, so we switch. 32 divided by the tangent is 35. So we get 45.7, yes? So 45.7, so that's EG. Okay, and so now, y'all, think about this again. We know EG, the whole of this thing, right? And then we know one of the pieces, EF. So 28.8. Right? We know the whole thing, we know one of the parts, we can subtract and find the other part. So just that. 45.7 and take away 28.8. And then that's the answer for S. Oh, what is it? 16.9. Alright, very good. Excellent. Okay? Yes, guys? So you'll see how sometimes you kind of have to think, okay, I can't go directly for what I need, right? Gotta figure something else out and then you realize how things are connected. It's not too bad. And like I said, 7 looks complicated, but it's really not. Alright. The next one I'm going to look at with you guys is number 10. Number 10. And these, like the next few ones, are really just going to kind of like help you set up the picture, okay? So number 10, it says a lighthouse built at sea level. Y'all, sea level is flat on the ground, right? Okay, so here's the ground. And then it says it's 150 feet high. So here's our lighthouse. It's 150 feet high. And then, what does it say? From its top. See what they're having here at the top of the lighthouse, right? Okay, the angle of deflection is 25 degrees. So whenever we were like normally looking from the top of the lighthouse, we're looking like straight forward, right? If we need to see the buoy, we have to look down because the buoy's in the water. There's a little floating things in the water, okay? So normally we'd be looking straight forward, but there's a little buoy in the water, so we're looking down. 25 degrees. And then they want to know, find the distance from the foot, like from the buoy to the foot of the lighthouse. So, buoy, foot of lighthouse, this is what we want. Yes? Okay? So what's that horizontal distance here? Where else do I need to put that 25? Can I do it right now? Like, inside this triangle, do it have an angle in there? No. Where else does the 25 go there? In the bottom corner. Yeah, in the bottom right corner. Remember? The angle of depression matches with this angle of elevation. Yep. So whenever you see that, whenever you see angle of elevation and depression, you have to remember you have the matching pair, okay? So now you can ignore this 25 up here. No. And you just use this one. Alright, so like the 150, which side is that according to the 25 degrees? Right, this is the opposite. And then the question mark is which side? So that one, we're just setting it up like that. Y'all gotta finish that one out, okay? Now number 11. Number 11, again, we're just gonna set up. You guys want to finish it from there? Because a surveyor is 100 meters from a bridge. Okay, right away. Surveyor, bridge. 100 meters. Right? And then they say the angle of elevation to the top of the bridge is 35 degrees. Okay? And here you're the surveyor on the left over here. You're looking straight forward. So along where this 100 is, yes, but you gotta look up, see the bridge. See the top of the bridge. So there you go. And it's 61 degrees. And then it also says the surveyor's instrument is 1.45 meters above the ground. So y'all think about this. Okay, surveyors, they have this little thing that they look through, okay? And they use that to find like heights and stuff. So whenever they're measuring the height of something, they have to take into account the fact that their instrument is already off the ground, right? Okay? Think about your eyes, right? Aren't our eyes like off the ground? Yes? So if you were going to do these problems, you have to take that into consideration. So right here where the surveyor is, this height is already 1.45 meters up. Now see that? And then they're asking us to find the height of the bridge. See all the bridge? Here's the very top. The bridge has got to go down to where? All the way to the ground. So we need this whole thing. Alright? What do you think we got to do? That's gonna, the 1.45 is gonna come in at the end.
Yeah.
Right? So y'all see, we're gonna first deal with the triangle, right? We're gonna find this part of the triangle, the height of the triangle, right? That's what we're gonna find first. So step 1, find height of the triangle. And then, to get the actual height of the bridge, we're going to have to do 1.45 y'all. Because the height of the triangle stops right here. Is that the whole height of the bridge? No, so what do we do with the 1.45? We add it in. Okay? And a key thing, round at the end. So on your calculator, you're going to type in whatever you need to type in to find the height of the triangle, okay? And then what I want you to do, whenever you get your answer, on the calculator, you'll just press plus, and then you put 1.45, okay? And that will take care of like carrying around all the decimals and stuff. So don't try to retype your answer and then add 1.45. Just use the calculator, say plus 1.45, and carry everything forward. And then you round finally at the end. Okay. And then next one is going to be number 12. And again, y'all know how to work these out. It's just making sure we're setting it up correctly. Okay, number 12 here. It says a train in the mountains rises 10 feet for every 250 feet it travels along the track. So y'all, the train is in the mountains. How does the track go? Diagonally, right? Okay? Yes? Okay? It's going like this. Train's in the mountains. I know, it's not tunneling through. It's going along the mountain. So, on our triangle, which side is the train track? That has hypotenuse. And how long are they telling us part of the track is? Yeah, 250 feet. So our hypotenuse is 250. And then what else does it cost? Yeah, it rises 10 feet for every 150 feet. So y'all rising, how's that going to be? Show me rising. It's going straight up and down, yes? Okay? So, there you go. And then they want to know what is the angle of elevation of the track. So, your angle of elevation is going to be down there. So they're asking what angle the train is traveling at. Okay, so when we're finding angle, what do we do? What do you have to use? Yep, the inverse. Okay? Okay, so the next problem we're going to go through is number 16. Alright, so it says, before Apollo 11 descended to the surface of the moon and made one orbit at a distance of 3 miles above the surface of the moon. At one point in its orbit, the onboard guidance system measure the angles of depression to the near and far sides of a huge crater. The angles measure 25 degrees to the near side of the crater and 18 degrees to the far side of the crater. Find the distance across the crater. So we need to figure out this distance here. Okay, guys. You should be able to see that you have two right triangles. You have one right here. It's going to end at the near side of the crater. And then we have another one that's going to end at the far side of the crater. And we've got the different angles of depression going on here. For the small one, okay, the small one, you can see the 25. Okay, and they're 3 miles above. And then you've also got the measurement that goes to the far side of the crater, and that comes from that 18-degree angle of depression. So what you're going to need to do here is figure out, these distances, because if I figure out, I'm going back to the picture here. If I figure out the length of this side of the small triangle, and then I figure out the length of the side of the big triangle, and then I subtract them, then I will get that distance across. So we're doing kind of the same thing. So big triangle minus the small one. And that will give you that distance across. Okay. And then the last one here, I'm not going to set it up too much with you because it is a challenge, but I'll kind of help you see here. It says, a mountain has a base and a peak that are inaccessible. At point A, the angle of elevation to the peak is 30 degrees. 1 kilometer closer to the mountain, at point C, the angle of elevation is 35 degrees. Find the height, PB, of the mountain. So we're needing to find out how tall this mountain is. I'm going to call it H, for height. Okay? H for height. And then we got to look here. We have 2 right triangles going on. We have the big one that goes further out. Okay? And then we also have the smaller one. That goes less far. So you're going to need to come up with some equations here, and there's going to be some algebra you're going to have to do to figure it out. Okay? That basically is what you're looking at. We have the big one. It's the height. And then we have the smaller one. And the height. They're both H tall. They both take up the whole height of the mountain. But the difference is in the bases. Okay, for the small one, CB, I'm going to call that X. So I don't know it. Okay, so X. And then we know here this angle is 35. But then for the big one goes here. It goes all of X plus another 1. So the base here is going to be X plus 1. And that equals 30. So now we've got those 2 triangles there. And y'all are going to have to do some fancy algebra and figure out the values of H and X. So it's going to be a system of equations. Okay? And what I would do is I would solve the 2 equations for one variable and then set them equal. solve them, I mean, it doesn't really matter whether you solve them for x or h, but doing x might be a little bit easier. Solve the equations for a variable, and then set them equal. And then once you know the one variable, you're going to plug it in, and then you can figure out the other one. Alright guys, so that's all there is to it for today. If you need any help, you can always send us a question and let us know, and we will help you out. See you guys later.